Hi everyone. So usually I use this channel to post my Twitch streams where I've been gaming, but originally this was created to be a vlog for my Harry Potter stuff. Now my other YouTube channel has more subscribers on it, because it is a channel that I use to post fan edit videos of the fandoms I'm in. So this video doesn't really fit on there, which is why I'm choosing to post it here, which I hope it is okay. I'm not expecting this to get very many views, but just in case people do view it, yeah. So hi, hello, welcome. For those who don't know me, my name is Megan. So I've been a fan of Fantastic Beasts and Harry Potter for a very long time. So, today I'm choosing to speak out about JK Rowling and her recent comments on Twitter. Now, I did make an Instagram live video that is now my Instagram TV, but because I don't like how my face looks, I wanted to do this with voice only. To add, my face is not really relevant to this conversation. So, let's get started. In the past, I have been incredibly supportive of JK Rowling and defend her online. I've always believed that she's made mistakes and that she didn't mean to cause offence or sound a certain way. That she's been, put simply, having a multitude of middle-aged moments. I've always believed that she just needed to be informed more, or that she didn't understand the issue she was getting herself involved in. That kind and patient education is the way forwards, instead of just outright cancelling people. In hindsight, I recognise that part of me simply didn't want to see that someone I idolised was doing something wrong. I didn't want to address that. Truthfully, I still don't, but right now I see it's become necessary. So for those who aren't aware, a few days ago, JK Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, tweeted out, offended over the use of the term people who menstruate, mockingly saying there used to be a term for people like that, before pretending to not remember the term women. For a start, the term people who menstruate is an inclusive term that can be used to describe cisgender women, transgender men, people who are non-binary, etc. There was no reason for her to be as angry or annoyed as she was by this phrase. Secondly, not all women menstruate. Transgender women do not, and nor do those who are menopausal, those who have not yet begun their menses due to not starting puberty, and also cis women on birth control sometimes do not menstruate. By trying to reduce people who menstruate to just women, and vice versa, JK Rowling knowingly alienated a huge number of fans. Her follow-up tweets made it clear that she does not view transgender women as real women, and that for her, women are defined by a single biological function and their genitals. Her follow-up tweets were extremely insulting and tone-deaf too. To defend herself, she argued that she had a butch lesbian friend who agreed with her. Now, sexuality and gender identity are not the same thing. Lesbians can be TERFs and transphobic too. For those who don't know, TERF is a word used to describe transgender, exclusionary, radical feminists. So, feminists who don't accept that transgender women are women. Her insistence that lesbians also feel uncomfortable and marginalised specifically by trans women, and that those trying to educate her or calling her out are perpetuating woman hate by using the word TERF. She's also likened this term to feminazi, bitch, etc. Just goes to show how she truly feels regarding transgender people and their rights. Now, I do not wish for this to seem like I'm attacking or denouncing her completely. Up until this incident, I was always trying to see the best in her and defending her. However, as someone who identifies as a woman, and I'm cisgender by the way, and someone who openly supports the rights of transgender and non-binary individuals, I've realised that by not addressing this, I am part of the problem. I am not making this video to attack or threaten, just to raise awareness and show that transphobia and hatred have no place. This account, and all my accounts, have always been open and accepting to everyone, no matter their skin, sexuality, gender identity, or religion. To be blunt, I'm extremely disappointed by JK Rowling and her actions. The fact that she chose A, Pride Month, a month specifically made to celebrate the lives of gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, etc. individuals, and B, the midst of the Black Lives Matter movement, to openly make transphobic comments is frankly disgusting. There is never a good time to be transphobic, but right now is especially bad. As someone who has been a Potterhead since the age of 11, a Beasts fanatic since 2016, and who has used these series to help them through years of bullying and mental illness, I have looked up to JK Rowling, and her work is forever tied to me and my life. I have 5 Wizarding World tattoos, numerous pieces of merchandise, and it has been a safe space for me in the past. I have met many people through the fandom, people who love the series as much as I do, and some of whom I'm now proud to call my friends. Because of Rowling and her work, I began writing Potter fanfiction when I was 12, which has since led to me writing my own work, pursuing a career as a joint actress-writer, and I've had a short story published in my old university's anthology in 2017, and a 15-minute play I wrote performed at Camden Fringe Festival in August 2018. In a way, JK Rowling is the reason I'm a writer. To see her make such statements has crushed me. I can't even imagine how transgender and non-binary fans of her must feel right now. Maybe she doesn't mean to be transphobic. Maybe she's just worded things extremely wrong. I don't know. I am not her, and I am not affiliated with her. But her refusal to see how what she said is perhaps wrong, her refusal to listen when people point this out, is inexcusable. What I'm about to say is not just in regards to JK Rowling, but to all those out there who perhaps think she does feel that their womanhood is threatened by the inclusion of transgender women or the like. Being a woman is not about your genitals or your parts. Womanhood is not defined by the involuntary shedding of uterus lining. As a woman myself, a cisgender woman, I am not defined by my ability to menstruate or produce children. To think so is actually incredibly misogynistic. Women are complicated, beautiful beings, and no two are the same. Some are feminine, others, like myself, what people may call tomboys, preferring less stereotypically feminine interests or activities. Some women are like Molly Weasley and choose to have a family because it's what they want, and that's completely fine. Others choose not to because they want to focus on a career, for example, and some choose to do both, having a family and a career. All of these are perfectly valid choices, and none of them are more woman than the other. It is a choice, and it is a woman's choice to make. Some women have periods and some do not because they are trans, menopausal, on birth control, etc. But we are all women. As a proud feminist, I am more than happy to include trans women in my definition of woman. I would like to take a quote from the recent 2019 adaptation of Louisa May Alcott's book, Little Women, to tell you all what being a woman means to me, and you'll see why this is relevant later. So, this is a quote by Jo March, played by Saoirse Ronan. She says, "Women, they have minds and they have souls as well as just hearts, and they've got ambition and they've got talent as well as just beauty. And I'm so sick of people saying that love is all a woman is fit for. I'm so sick of it." Now, as a feminist, I recommend you all read Alcott's book, as well as watch the 2019 film, which is directed by Greta Gerwig and stars Saoirse Ronan, Timothée Chalamet, Florence Pugh, Emma Watson, and Eliza Scanlon, as well as Laura Dern. And I must reiterate, being a woman is not about having periods, about your genitals or anything like that. The reason I bring up this quote is because, to me, this is what being a woman is. Being a woman is having a mind, having a soul, having a heart. Being a woman means you've got ambition, you've got talent, and you're not just there for your beauty or how you look. Now, I want to quickly reference a tweet from a user called Q Fever, who wrote regarding a sentence in Deathly Hallows. So the sentence they referenced from the Deathly Hallows, which is obviously written by Rowling, is, "Harry, your eyesight really is awful," said Hermione as she put on glasses. Now, as they pointed out, there are 2 relevant points here. First of all, Jo uses the pronoun she when referring to Hermione. 2. At this juncture in the narrative, Hermione is in Harry's body due to taking Polyjuice Potion to become him, meaning that she, like Harry, now has, to be blunt, male genitals, i.e. a penis and testicles. We know Harry is biologically male, since he then later on goes on to father 3 children, one of whom is basically identical to him, strongly implying genetics were involved, i.e. he passed on his genes. Given that it's affected her eyesight, we can assume it's physically changed her sex as well. Pronouns reflect gender, not reproductive organs, as this Twitter user said, and I quote, "Hermione is still herself, and thus still a she, because her mind is Hermione's mind, even though her body has been temporarily made identical to Harry's, and thus presumably his genitals. Even though her body is male, she is still a girl. Her identity has not changed, and being a young woman is part of her identity, not a property of her physical form." Now, it's disheartening that the author of these books, who wrote this, knowingly calling Hermione she, even when she was in a male body, doesn't seem to understand this outside the realm of her own work. Now, cis women and transgender women do experience different struggles, and I'm not denying that. This is a big point for people who are defending Rowling, that apparently by saying that transgender women are women, we are denying talking about the struggles that cisgender women go through. And I'm not denying that cisgender women like myself and transgender women go through different struggles. But saying that trans women are real women, and including trans women in feminism and discussions surrounding women's rights, does not erase that. Including trans women in our definition of women does not threaten feminism or cis women. And I feel like this is something we need to remember. There are also people out there who, when calling JK Rowling out, are saying that, oh, she no longer owns Harry Potter, blah, blah, blah. Now, with this in mind, I do not necessarily agree with these statements, because the truth is, she did write Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts. And we must acknowledge that she wrote Potter and Fantastic Beasts because, frankly, there are lots of problems and problematic things in her work, and she must be held accountable for it. This includes goblins being anti-Semitic representation or stereotypes, example, greedy, long noses, pointed beards. The fact that the only Asian character in Harry Potter is called Cho Chang, which is literally just a step or two away from being called Ching Chong, which is incredibly racist. The fact that Seamus, who is Irish, likes to blow shit up. I apologise for my language, but it's true. This is obviously a reference to the IRA thing. Now, Tina and Queenie from Fantastic Beasts' surname is Goldstein, a Jewish surname. They are distantly related to Anthony Goldstein, a character in Harry Potter who is confirmed by JK Rowling herself to be Jewish. So we can probably assume that Tina and Queenie are probably Jewish. Despite this, and despite the fact that they're Jewish, and the fact that the events of Fantastic Beasts take place during Hanukkah in 1926, there is zero signs of them observing the holiday, not even a menorah in the background. If I, a fanfic writer, can do the research for my new Tina and Jacqueline fics, and learn about Jewish tradition and Jewish customs, then Rowling and the set designers sure should too. Now, while there is autistic representation in Newt, I feel it's important to mention that this was not JK Rowling's doing, it was Eddie Redmayne's, not hers. He was the one who consciously made the decision to portray Newt as being autistic. Now, back to Fantastic Beasts, the only black and non-white characters in Beasts, so Pickery, Lita Lestrange, Yusuf Kama, Nagini. You know, for a start, Pickery is only very briefly in the first film, and then the second film she has maybe 4 lines, if that. Lita is half black because she has a white father and a black mother. She is killed defending Newt and Theseus, who are both white men. It's also important to note that the whole story of Lita's family, for example, with the black mother being under the Imperius curse, being raped by Lita's father, a white man, so much you could go into there. There's also Nagini, who is played by an Asian actress called Claudia Kim. So she's an Asian character whose only role in Crimes of Grindelwald is to be Credence's only friend, to be a man's only friend. And we know later on that Nagini is a vessel for a part of Voldemort's soul, and some people have said that she is somewhat his slave because she has a piece of him in her, if you will. Now, there are arguments that she is not in fact his slave, and that she is in fact the only being that he holds any respect or anything akin to love for. Now, that's a whole different discussion, but this is still what it comes across as to many people, as her being a slave. Back to Harry Potter, we know about Remus Lupin being a werewolf. So lycanthropy in Harry Potter is used as a metaphor for AIDS, which obviously was a big thing back in the 80s and 90s with the AIDS crisis, which affected gay men. So the fact that she's, first of all, coded Lupin as being gay, and the whole being sick as a werewolf being similar to having AIDS, Then one person, one werewolf, Greyback, has a preference for kids, for infecting children. So this plays into the stereotype of gay men having AIDS and being paedophiles. You know, having, like, preferring to infect children. Now, you know, there are many, many other examples, but I digress. Rowling wrote this, and we should acknowledge how problematic some of the views in it are. Like, it is woven into the very fabric of Harry Potter, and we need to acknowledge that. So to end, I just want to say to any and all trans, non-binary, etc. individuals out there that you are so valid and loved. You don't need me, a cisgender white girl, to tell you this, but I thought it was worth mentioning anyway. You absolutely deserve to feel safe and accepted, both online and off, both within the Harry Potter fandom and outside of it. The characters JK Rowling wrote, the ones we grew up with, would not accept what she has said, and they would not accept these views. Harry Potter himself, Daniel Radcliffe, has spoken out and supports you. So I won't read out what he said, because I already did this on my Instagram live, but I will leave a link to it in the description for anyone who wants to know what he said. But in short, he has come out and he has support all of you. He has said that he has supported all of you, basically. Just remember that Hogwarts welcomes all. You are still accepted at Hogwarts, and nothing JK Rowling says will change that fact. Now everyone, please stay safe. You're all amazing and magical, and I send so much love to you all. As a white cisgender ally, I feel it is my duty to educate myself. Now, if I have said anything in this video that is perhaps not correct or could be viewed as offensive, please do tell me, because I'm constantly learning and trying to make sure that I am educated and that I can always learn. There is always something you can learn. So yeah, please just let me know. I'm also open to discussion, so if people would like to discuss this, please feel free to either contact me directly, to comment on my videos, just please feel free, I don't bite. With all that in mind, I just want to say, like I said, please stay safe, please. It's a very, very scary time right now. My heart is with all the people protesting, whether they're in Los Angeles, other places in America, here in London, here in my town. My heart is with all of you. Even if I can't be there at the protest myself, I am 100% supporting you, and I am trying to do what I can. I don't have any money to donate, but there is a YouTube video that I've been watching on repeat because the revenue from the ads do go towards charities that are part of the Black Lives Matter movement. So yeah, like I said, please stay safe, please look after yourselves, and please know that you are so important and valid and loved. So yeah, thank you if you have listened to all of this.